President Goulden, thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting. I've got to start with a simple question. You are here at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities on the last day. Why is it important for SUMA to be at a convention like this?
Well, it's phenomenal, the connections that we have, the work that we can talk about, looking at how SUMA can be involved in a national perspective. Because as we know, Saskatchewan is not alone in this country. There are other provinces and territories, and we only are, as the theme says, stronger together if we all offer out a hand to help out whenever we can.
One of the big things that happens at these events and even at SUMA is that networking sessions where off the side of the hallway people are talking. Are you hearing the same conversations in your networking sessions of same challenges, concerns that municipalities in Saskatchewan are dealing with, that every municipality across Canada is dealing with? Or, as the mayor of Whitehorse told me, are you feeling like an island, that your issues are so unique that it's only Saskatchewan residents dealing with it?
Well, you always hear individual challenges that they're seeing, but I can put it almost in three large buckets, and that's infrastructure, it's revenue sharing, and it's public safety. So you can usually put them into those three big buckets that we're all advocating for. And absolutely they're individual things. I could bring some things from my community that might be, very individual. But when we sit down and talk, there's many things that are in common. What I find is perhaps some of the challenges are the different amount of zeros that would be included in the budget lines to deal with them.
You're the second person to tell me that today. It must be a common theme here. I want to turn to a little bit more of a serious conversation, if you don't mind, and particularly what's going on in northern Saskatchewan as we're talking. Wildfires are forcing the evacuation of communities. They're getting closer to communities. As president, your province is rallying around the people who are being evacuated. What does that tell you as a president of the municipal organization about the people of Saskatchewan?
Well, it just confirms what we already know. We're all good neighbors. Does not matter where we are in the province, and we all rally around for people that are in need, communities that are in need. And we've heard from so many, like, what can we do to help? We're a phone call away. And I know from SUMA's perspective, I've let everyone know if they need anything, just let us know. Let Jean-Marc know at our SUMA office, because we've all had issues in our communities, but these wildfires, they're taking people's away from their homes, their businesses. This is not going to be something that can be, helped and mediated over the very short term. This is going to be long term. So right now we are all offering help, but that doesn't come for just today. That's in the future.
There seems to be a lot of chat at this convention about the effects of wildfires. We saw what happened in Jasper last year. We're seeing what happens in Creighton, Saskatchewan, Flin Flon, Manitoba. Environmental concerns, climate change has got to be top of mind for a lot of people at this convention. Have you heard a lot of conversation around that? I
have, and I think one thing I want to say, what has been consistent in all of that is the support for these communities, but the leadership that we have seen from mayors and councillors and community staff. I hearken back to Jasper, a community that our family has been very joyful in for many years. We're skiers and we love the mountain there, and I watched with my heart sinking with Mayor Ireland from Jasper and what he had to deal with. And now, we're dealing with the mayors in our own province having to deal with these things. And yes, we have to do something about that. And we really have to work hard on the mitigation. We have to work hard on making our communities safe and safer on things that we need to do, including the trees we're going to be planting. I mean, so many things have come to light in the last few years, and we can't sit back and say, well, this will never happen to Yorkton, Saskatchewan, because maybe we won't have the forest fires, but back in the early 2010, 2014, we have no river in Saskatchewan. We're not close to any large body of water, and we flooded out 4 years, first in 2010 and then in 4 years later in 2014. So we can't say that this may not happen. We have to mitigate for what might happen.
So going back to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities convention for a few minutes, thank you for allowing me to divulge there for a second. How do you ensure that the work, the advocacy, the networking that you took away from this convention doesn't end the moment you step on that plane to head back to Saskatchewan? Because the advocacy work can't stop the moment you get back to Saskatchewan. It needs to continue. What do you ensure you do?
Well, I think what I am very fortunate is I'm on the board of directors and on the executive committee currently, and I see this, but then I know our members see it, and sometimes you go, oh my gosh, it's another email from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. What's this about? But it's an opportunity to contribute and be a part of. And I just hearken back to the advocacy done on behalf of municipalities for the federal election. The FCM Election Readiness Committee, even though the name says election readiness, they work all the time in between, getting our advocacy issues to our members, getting out the way to advocate, getting out the tools and the toolboxes that everybody needs, and making everyone prepared that it's just an email to their MPs or a letter to their local media, or help doing interviews like the ones you do, Chris. So it's just providing support to our hometowns and our RMs and our counties on how we can all advocate, because it's not just one voice that's going to make a change.
So what happens, and this is the question that's a little bit more political in nature, if you don't mind, because there might be some people who are watching this or listening to this going, oh, it's just a bunch of politicians getting together in Ottawa and doing what they do on public dime. What do you say to residents of Saskatchewan of why it's important for Saskatchewan to be at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities? What do you get from the FCM that you can't do by yourself?
Well, I think it's the support we get. It's the advocacy support we get, but the information we get. I sat in several different presentations around the Green Municipal Funds and got to see firsthand where we've gone with those funding, and it's gone into communities of all sizes, all over Saskatchewan, all over Canada, and in the territories. And that was evident here. They were able to meet the people that they can work with and get support and help with applying for those funds. So that's just one. But I think the other thing is it's talking to the councillors and mayors from across this country. And I've heard this many times. You know, you come here and you've got challenges in your hometown about different things, budgeting, different, corrections and public safety. And then you come here and you talk with someone, and there may be some best practices shared, but it's also the awareness that you're not alone. You've got a phone call to make. You can call someone, and I know I've been accompanied here with our Mayor Aaron Keenley, and Councillor Dustin Breers, both first-time attendees, and they can't wait to get home and talk with our council and our administration about what they've learned and how they can put it to use. So I would suggest to anybody watching or hearing this, give them a call too and hear firsthand from first-timers.
And next year it's a little bit closer to home for you. You just have to drive a highway down to Edmonton. But President Goulden, I'm always appreciative of your time. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I feel like this is not the last conversation you and I will ever have, but thank you so much.
I can't wait to welcome you back to Yorkton, because it's always a pleasure having you there.